Ooh, Circle2, one of my favorite synths in the entire world. And here's how to make this. Familiarization, oscillators, the mixer of the oscillators, pre-filter effects, filter, post-filter effects, and the modulation sources, envelopes, LFOs, and the sequencer. Now let's deconstruct this thing, understand what's happening. So in fact, we're going to take things off to reverse engineer it and then build it back up really fast to show you how easy it is to do. So in fact, there's an effect on there. Let's turn that off. So there's a double echo synced to the grid. So there's a quarter and an eighth. Here's some theory. Because this is an arpeggio, a series of individual notes, and this echo is synced to a time division, that means the two delays, one on the left, one on the right, and one is a quarter division, one an eighth division. That means if you think about it, you're hearing one note dry, and then you're hearing a previous note from a few notes ago, also at the same time, but on the sides, different on the left and the right. So it's like a way of creating chords from this arpeggio. It's why things like sync delays, ping pong delays, filters delays work especially well on arpeggios, because it's taking a series of single notes and then almost building a harmonic bed underneath it. Fantastic. Now, next, let's deconstruct it more. It's a simple structure, this one, but it's all about tone. So we have some fuzz distortion before and after the main filter. You can see, this is in fact, let's acknowledge there is a single oscillator, a single waveform being created. This is going through the filter, this low pass filter, which is being modulated, just a fancy word for changed, by this envelope. You can see purple, this envelope is opening up and closing this low pass filter. So taking the low pass filter and moving it sideways, opening it. I'll show you that in a sec. But basically, there's an oscillator going through a filter and these fuzz distortions before and after, generating the tone. I love that. Oh, fantastic. Now, so this filter, in fact, if I just take this, okay, remember this envelope, in fact, you can see the visual feedback, the envelope doing its thing with the dot. Really, really fast. So in fact, you can't see it very easily. Maybe if I slow down the BPM. Oh, this is good for knowledge. This is slow, even further. If in doubt, do it slower. That's what she said. Oh, yes, so this would be the easiest way to understand what's happening. So I've slowed down the BPM so the notes are playing slower, so you can hopefully understand what this envelope is doing if you're new to synthesis. If you're familiar with synthesis, this will make perfect sense. This is a standard thing to do when synthesizing sounds. You take a waveform, get a low pass filter, and you open it with an envelope, moving it right. Now, the magic here, of course, is the tone and this special VPS oscillator. But yes, let's understand what's happening. So hopefully you can see with this envelope, in fact, I'm going to even increase the ADSR so it's even more noticeable. Look at that. Oh, I've made it longer. Oh, look at that for visual feedback. Lovely. Oh, you can change the curviness. That's fun. But we'll leave it up top. Can you see? In fact. So that's just a single, like a static waveform. So each of these notes is playing like a stationary waveform with no change at all. You can see the amplitude envelope with this green envelope is consistent. So it's a standard waveform. And then we have a low pass filter being opened by this purple envelope. So hopefully you can see and correlate what you're seeing and hearing, this filter opening and closing according to this envelope. and then make it all really fast and add everything else. And of course, that builds it all up back to one. Words. Were we at 110? I think we were. Are we recording? I think we were at 110. We're at 110 now anyway, so. Fantastic. Now, okay, so then we go to effects and turn everything back off again, because I want to show you this VPS oscillator. So I'm just going to undo. Yeah, let's turn everything off just for lols. We'll leave the filter on because the filter's cool. Anyway, the VPS oscillator. You're probably thinking, multiplier, what's a VPS oscillator? And you'd be right to think so. And that's because a VPS oscillator is this special thing specific to Circle2 or Circle. Is it called Circle2 or Circle? I have no idea. We'll find out in the title. Anyway, so you can see there's many different oscillator types. These analog ones, which of course sound great, wavetable. So you can choose between basically one side of the wavetable and the other side of the wavetable, and you sort of mix between the two, and that's fantastic. Again, great visual feedback. But the words are difficult. So the magic, or at least my favorite thing about Circle2 is this VPS oscillator that is specific to Circle2. Now, this is what it is for those that are curious, but you can just consider it a super magic special wave specific to Circle2 with these two parameters. It's not, to be honest, it's not important the mechanics in terms of how it's created, but what is important is yet these two parameters, horizontal and vertical, and these are just character sliders. They're just two different ways to manipulate and create this initial waveform, which of course, when you then run it through a filter and it with a fuzz distortion, etc., brings it to life. You can see it just changes the character in the really cool way, which then if you distort, you get all this brilliance coming out. But it's, as I say, it's just the two character sliders that you want to try and find the magic sweet spots of. It's lots of fun. Oh, Circle2! Wowzers trousers. That is my catchphrase. Catchphrase. Catch the phrase. Catch you guys. On the flippity flip.